Welcome to an episode of the Amen to Success podcast. I am your host, Laurentia.
Hi,
Laurentia. And today we're talking all things real estate. We have Miss Nada in the building today. Yay! Hi, Nada.
Hi, everybody.
Funny thing about Nada, that was my first friend in America when I moved here. So right. It's going to be a very interesting conversation. I'm excited. So, Ms. Nada, if you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nada, for starters. I am a friend of Laurentia's because we're both Ghanaian. And I felt like I found a friend in her when we were in elementary school. I think fourth grade.
Yep.
We were so young, but moved here to Atlanta, I would say like 21 years ago, I think. So for the most part, I've been raised in Atlanta, but we've been here for a long time. I've known Georgia kind of in and out in a sense. And I am 26. I've been in real estate for 4 years since 2017. It's been fine. Lately, it's been extremely busy, but I really enjoy it. And I really hope I get to answer everybody's, well, I shouldn't say everybody's, but all your questions. And hopefully it'll be good for everybody else. If they have any questions, they can watch it and listen to it.
Right.
Hopefully that will fulfill and satisfy everybody's questions.
Exactly. Awesome. Thank you so much, Nada. So let's just start off by just getting to know you a little bit. Growing up, I know you're Ghanaian and Lebanese, so let's talk a little bit more about that. How was like the culture clash growing up? I know one parent, is it one parent that's Lebanese and one Ghanaian, or?
My dad.
Okay. Yeah. So just talk to us about your experience with that.
Well, my mom is Ghanaian, my dad is Lebanese, but they were both born and raised in Ghana. Well, my dad was actually born in Togo, which is country next door to Ghana. But he was raised in Ghana, and then at one point a little bit of Lebanon. But my mom has always been raised in Ghana. She's from Takoradi, and then my dad was living in Accra his whole time. Culture clash, not really, because we were all like in the same place. But when we moved to America, it was a bit of a shock. I mean, they adjusted. I feel like not only speaking for ourselves, but everybody else that moved from another country to America, they a lot of people come here more for a better opportunity. So you can literally give them like one thing and they'll make like 100 things out of that one thing. Like I feel as though not coming for Americans or anything, but when people from other countries, when they move here, I feel as though harder workers. I mean, they just don't take moving here and living here for granted. No, like they don't take anything for granted here. Work really hard. So it's not really much of a culture class. We just mind our business and stay in our lane and do the work that we have to do and try to stay as possible, because that's all we have here. But as far as Lebanese and Ghanaian, I mean, if my dad was completely raised in Lebanon, my mom was completely raised in Ghana, I mean, maybe there would be a culture clash, but there's so many Lebanese people in Ghana. So it's like,
that is so true. And I heard Rawlings was actually Lebanese too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, what? Yeah, but there is a lot of Lebanese people.
There's so much. I don't know what happened. I don't know who started the Lebanese colonization, but they are everywhere in Ghana. So no, not really much of a clash, but I mean, we understand each other's culture, so it's easy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So you were living in Ghana at first though, right? And then before you moved here.
Right. Yeah. But I was young when I came here. When I moved here, my mom didn't raise me as an American, to say the least. Like she still taught me. Well, I shouldn't even say taught me. I learned the languages myself. And it was just in the house. And all she did was talk to her family back home, friends on the phone. And I just caught on the language, and she raised me as if I was
the food.
Food still till now. I mean, everything is as if I was there. So if you didn't know any better, I mean, you could literally put me back in Ghana and they wouldn't even know I was raised in America.
Because everything's the same. Yeah.
Right.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, good. So talk to me. Let's delve more into like your career path, or growing up, what did you want to be when you grew up? Yeah, let's start there. What
So
was your career goals?
I was kind of all over the place. I always known it was something with creativity, and at first it was art. But I'm not sure. I mean, art is a very broad answer, but art is a very broad general answer. But I've always liked drawing, and so when I was young, I was like, fashion designer. I was just drawing clothes. Then I would, for fun, I would draw houses. So that was like architect. And then not knowing, like, it kind of intimidated me when I thought about being an architect and thinking about the school behind it and everything, because it's I believe it's 5 years, and like the
For
program is 5 years.
architecture?
Mm-hmm. It's not like a 4 year, like, get your bachelor's and then that's it. It's 5 years for the program. I could be wrong, but that's the one that I knew of at least, and I wanted to do it, but then I just got steered away from doing it. But I always known I wanted to do something regarding housing and houses. So my inspiration came from when I was young. I always wanted my mom to move out of the apartment that we were staying in. So every chance that we had, her friend would take her to her realtor, and then the realtor would, just open the doors and we'll just be in these houses. And I'm like, oh, this is nice. This is nice. Everything was nice to me. Like every house that we see, I just wanted to leave the apartment. Yeah, she was just opening doors for us. And I always just seen an opportunity for my mom to be in somewhere else other than the apartment. And we kind of always had trouble like moving other places because of the fact that she was an immigrant at the time. So yeah, I just always had like dreams of moving out. So I was like, thought it would be to get my license when I get older, and then I can, fill the void that I had for myself and, give it to others. I never got to buy a house or anything. So I was like, it'll be cool if I get to do that for others. In return, God will bless me in the future for my mom to buy a house.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So your inspiration for real estate really came from more of like growing up and what you saw growing up or whatnot.
Right.
And that's what made you approach it. So tell me about so before real estate, I know you tried like architecture. So did you approach college at all, or you just kind of went straight into? Okay.
So I did do college. I started off at Georgia Perimeter, and I did business with a minor in language. Language was Portuguese. So I do speak Portuguese.
Oh, nice.
So I added that. And yes, girl, I'm here speaking Portuguese, tree, fancy, everything.
No, but did you know that Portuguese, there's a lot of chi in there?
You know what's okay? I thought it was. I didn't know that was an actual fact, but there was some things that mean the same thing. Like, okay, for instance, this has nothing to do with this, but how the word "se" that means if, like in Portuguese, it's the same thing. It's se. It's like it's technically C, I think. If I'm not, I have to think about how to say it. Right now I'm thinking about tree and fancy, but it's literally the same thing. But yeah. So
wow.
I never realized that. I thought it was tripping. Yeah.
So
there is
some Portuguese. That's dope. That's good.
I would more say, I won't lie right now. Rusty. I've been unspoken in so long. Like I used to be the Portuguese translator when I was working at the bank, and
nice.
But I ended up quitting the bank to do real estate. So for 4 years now, I really haven't spoken Portuguese with anybody. I haven't put it to use. Yeah. It's rusty.
Right. So tell me, so when approaching real estate, what was the very first thing that you did? So let's kind of delve into like the steps and everything. Just for if somebody wanted to get into real estate, what was what would be the first thing that you recommend? What was the first thing that you did?
The first thing that I did was look up courses in your area. I went to a course instead of doing it online. That's my preference. Everybody has their own preference. I don't like doing online courses because I get distracted very easily, and I don't want to do it online and be at home. And then, I just won't pay attention to putting my focus in, like online. So I ended up doing the class method instead, the in-person method. And But if you want to do it, I recommend you going online and seeing what courses are available, in your area. And I'm so sure that there's classes. I mean, wherever you stay, whatever state, city, whatever you're in, there's going to be real estate course credited and certified for you. But that's what I did. I just went online and typed in real estate courses Atlanta or Smyrna. I took mine in Smyrna. It was in Barney Fletcher
That's where you
Schools in
lived
Cop
at that
Parkway.
time? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was easy for me. So I just went there and did that. But I mean, just for anybody, generally speaking, that's what you should do. Typically, I can't say for every state and every school, but the one that I did, it was $550. So, which wasn't bad at the time. I don't know what it is now. Could be more, but startup costs with everything after you do the classes, because the class will, if you do the in-person class, a month and a half. They also offer a month and a half, but you do 3 days a week. So I think it was Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. And it was 5 to 10 p.m. So they have different options. They also have a 2-week course, which is a crash course. And that one's every day from Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That one, I don't know if it'll necessarily be suitable for everybody because obviously people have to work and stuff. And that's 5 days a week, 2 weeks. I mean, you have to make money. That's literally somebody's taking away from their job, and they have to do this from 9 to 5. For 5 days straight for 2 weeks. So, and then on top of that, I don't really recommend that class. I honestly took that my very first time thinking, let me just get this out the way and it'll be fast. And I ended up failing it because it's just too fast. Yeah.
Is that the in-person one?
Yes, but it's the 2-week course.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like fast paced.
It's very fast paced. It's no slowing down. You go from 9 to 5, you get off, you want to rest, but you really can't rest. You have to study. And instead of studying, I was like, you know what? I just learned it. I can remember it. After the 2 weeks, my test came and I failed it by 2 points. You need a 75 and I failed it by 2 points. So I had a 73. I was so devastated. I ended up taking the 1.5 month course, and that one was far better because you have times for it to marinate. You can go to the class, you can come on, get back home, rest. You're only doing it for 3 weeks. Those other 4 days out the week, you can use it to study. Okay. So I recommend that one.
Yeah. So you said, what was the name of the exact course?
It's the the in-class salesperson course with Fletcher in Cop Park. The one that I did was in Cop Parkway in Smyrna. Okay. But they have other locations as well.
Yeah. Are you coming out with a course soon?
Actually, I am.
Look. Yes.
I'm working on, I haven't released it yet. I haven't even touched pen and paper with it yet, but I told myself that this is what I wanted to do this year, was to do it's not going to be accredited. It's not going to be certified. You're not going to be able to get your license for it or from it. Mm-hmm. But it's more so with helping agents when they first get their license, because what the school will do is they'll give you your certification and your license because you just learn all the law and stuff. But what they don't do, they don't teach you how to be an agent. Mm-hmm. There's a huge difference between can go to school for real estate. It takes a special type of person that understands the business or is willing to understand the business and how uncertain it is to be a really good agent. I mean, there's so many moving pieces to real estate, and being a good buyer's agent or a good seller's agent. And I've been on both sides of the deal. So I want to come out with a course, or maybe just more so of a call that I can speak with agents, or maybe some type of PDF or a document, or, something that shows what you should do, because you'll get out of school and people don't know where to go, what to do, what they, the process of it. So I kind of want to make it dummy proof and allow everybody to understand what you should do.
That's smart. Yeah, that's a great idea. But as far as I heard you mention buyers and sellers agents, which one would you say is more profitable, easier, or like the best right now in Georgia? Where should people express their interest in?
So as far as more profitable, we'll start there. Each side of the deal, I'm sure you've heard agents get paid 6%. Mm-hmm. Now, it's more so the seller pays both buyer's agent and seller's agent. They agree 6%? Technically, they agree to paying the deal, both of you, 6%. So the agent typically splits it down the middle in 3-3. Okay. So it's for the most part, just to make this conversation easy, it's typically an equal amount that you both will make. So like for easy numbers, if you're making 1,000, I'm making 1,000. You're making 2,000, I'm making 2,000. There can also be other times, like I don't want to get too complex, but sometimes there can be times where a seller will agree to pay a buyer's incentive. So they'll pay maybe me a little bit more. It's very rare. You'll see it more with like new construction deals, but that's a different conversation. Or maybe the seller and the seller's agent have a deal. Maybe they pay the seller's agent a little bit more. So, but to make this easy, profit-wise, we make the same. So buyer's agent and seller's agent makes the same amount. Right now, the biggest goal with being a realtor is getting listings, AKA being the seller's agent. So when you have more listings or when you're working with the seller, it is known to be far easier than working with buyers. Nothing against buyers, but it's way less legwork to work with sellers than working with buyers. Buyers, you have to, be in communication with the agents, listing agents. You're going up against 10 other offers, 5 other offers, whatever it is. And then you're going out and you're finding homes. You'll probably see 3 houses today, 5 houses tomorrow, whatever. So it's a lot more action. Whereas working with the seller is I come to your house, I walk through it, I do the maths and see the comparative homes that have been sold in the area. Yeah. We come to a fair value and, I put up my sign, I do some marketing for you. And it's a lot more computer work and marketing when it comes to working with the seller. So it's easier. Gotcha. Yeah. And you have the option of you'll end up being on the end where you're getting 5 offers, 10 offers, whatever it is, and choosing the one that works best for your seller. So it's far better working with the seller.
Yeah. So it's easier being on the seller side.
Yes, it's just it works in your favor the most. You have the upper hand. I should say you have the upper hand when you're in a seller's market like right now. So right now, what agents have been trying to do, me myself, is trying to get more sellers to sell their homes because it has been so aggressive and competitive right now for realtors. Like I've been in it for 4 years. This is the craziest I've ever seen it. I mean, people are coming in like 30,000, 50,000 over asking price.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. There'll be like 30 offers on one house because there's the inventory is just dry. Like there's nothing. One good
So there are not enough houses on the market, but there are a lot of buyers, a lot of people looking to buy.
Basically, yes. Demand is exceeding the supply.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but the thing is, can you just, because with homes, I know that you have to get it appraised, right? And it can only go for the amount that is worth. So how can somebody just kind of up their home?
So I'm glad you asked that because to tell you how crazy it's been, people have been offering to pay the gap between the appraisal value and what they've offered. So it's been I don't know what happened overnight, but it's gradually been getting like this. So ever since interest rates went low, everybody has been trying to buy houses. But like, let's say you put your house on the market for 100 and then somebody comes in and they offer 120. The house only appraises for 105. People have been offering to pay $15,000 gap to cover.
Why? This is crazy.
Which makes future value go up because whatever you sold that at, it solidifies that in that area. And it says, well, that the next seller that will be in that area will be like, well, their house ended up selling for 120. I want to put mine for 120. But in reality, it sold for 120 because they paid that gap. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So then prices end up going up, and it's just inflation.
Wow.
So
That is
yeah.
interesting. So let's
Mhm.
kind of get into what a real estate agent is. Like, so when they say a real estate agent, what are the responsibilities or what does it take to be one? And then also, you as an individual, what characters do you have to possess to be successful in such an industry?
Yeah. So as a realtor or a real estate agent, I mean, you are delegating the process for either your buyer or your seller, whichever one. For the most part, when you're working with the seller, your responsibility is more so marketing. When you're working with the buyer, you're more you're catering to both parties, but when you're working with the buyer, you're doing more catering and more tailoring to their needs. So the characteristic that you honestly you have to be a people's person. You have to be attentive to every single detail. I mean, like I said, there's so many moving pieces in real estate. I mean, there's so much to learn. It's 4 years in, and there's people that have like 20 years on me, and they're still learning. It's like a ever never ending process. Like they are
Yeah.
always every house that you sell is unique to its own situation.
Mhm.
No two houses will be the same, or no two situations will be the same. So you really have to cater to your client's needs, depending on what side that you're working on. But
Okay.
just being really attentive, really caring, hearing, and just, I mean, there's so many things that go into one deal alone. But for the most part, your responsibility is to delegate the process to get to the closing. You're supposed to be the communicator between the buyer's agent, the seller's agent. So we just work together without the seller and the buyer ever meeting each other. So we
Mhm.
come up with all the contracts and we write them up and we send them to the closing attorney or the lender, whatever the case is. So there's a lot of parties involved in one transaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your biggest character is patience, I have to say. Definitely patience.
Yeah, interesting. Speaking of that, what would you say was your biggest challenge or like the like some mistakes that you made or maybe things you wish you knew before you started?
Biggest challenge, biggest challenge. My biggest challenge, I'm still working on a couple of things, but my biggest
Aren't we
challenge,
all?
right. My biggest challenge in this was honestly the leap of faith that I had to take because
Yeah.
like I mentioned earlier, it's such an uncertain business, meaning that this is my bread and butter. I have
Hmm.
to wait, and this is the thing that honestly sucks about it. But I mean, it's a bittersweet thing.
Yeah.
The only time you ever get paid is when you make a sale.
When you
And
sell a
any
house.
in that, yes, anytime in
Yeah.
between that, it's completely you. You are your own entrepreneur, your own worker, everything, your own boss. There's nobody above you telling you need to do this. You're in this by yourself, and it's a very uncertain thing. So taking the leap of faith, I was working for the bank, and I just wasn't enjoying it. I knew I didn't want to do it forever, so I ended up quitting and started this. So I've been doing this just full time for the past 4 years. So, it was very uncertain, especially when the pandemic hit. I didn't know if I was going to, people are going to be buying houses or not. Surprisingly, everybody has been in the market to buy a house.
Girl.
Yes,
Yes.
everybody. So, I mean, that was beneficial, but the biggest challenge is, the uncertainty. So I always advise anybody, if you want to jump into this, make sure that you have whatever comfortable number in your head saved up,
Mhm.
or, you're also working at a job
Just
that's,
kind of doing it on the side at
yeah.
first.
So,
Okay.
and then the thing is, like, when it comes to doing real estate on the side, it's very hard because you have to give your attention to it to really exceed it. So if you're doing something that allows you to, you're doing something that's making you money other than real estate, that's flexible, that allows you to learn real estate still, I would advise that. For me, I ended up quitting my bank job because I wanted to put my focus into real estate full time, really understand the ropes of it, and get more comfortable with it. If I wanted to get a job today, I would be more comfortable getting a job now because I know how to juggle with real estate now. I know how to delegate processes. I know
Getting
if
a
I want
job within real estate, or you're just saying any industry?
any industry, if I wanted to do
Okay.
anything, then at this point of where I stand in real estate, have this as my side job, I would feel comfortable doing that. Now, when somebody just fresh into real estate and they're like, I'm just going to do this on the side, they can still do that, absolutely, but it won't be as successful. I don't want to speak for everybody because everybody has their own, their own luck and success with things. But if you really want to succeed in it and put a lot of focus and attention, I would say, give it at least a year to understand the ropes, to really put your focus into it. And if you want to get a job after that and then do it on the side, now you know how to do things and delegate processes. And if you need somebody else to show a house while you're at work, you can write up contracts, or you can, do certain things. But yeah, the biggest challenge, uncertainty, period. So there's a lot of learning factors in it. But like I said, I would feel more comfortable now if I wanted to get a 9 to 5 and do this on the side. Because I understand it through and through now. So that, and then the biggest mistakes, contracts, reading your contracts. You need to read contracts. People will come after you. This is America. So people will come after you, and not saying that has happened to me, but people it's very easy to misinterpret something on a contract, and your client can easily point fingers at you because of their
You're the agent. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
because they expect you to map everything out for them and whatnot. So things can get messy if you don't thoroughly explain things. Luckily, I've always thoroughly explained things to my clients as best as I can, and just always make sure you cover your butt. That's my best advice, because everybody will come after you. Everything is written in black and white. So if you're not covering yourself from the beginning, expect this is Abochi. They'll come after you.
They will get their lawyers, whatever they need to get to win. Yeah, definitely. I can definitely see that.
Yeah, but I think, that's that's my challenge. And then mistake wise, like I said, just try to be as thorough as possible. I know there's been minor mistakes. There's nothing I can, really think of big right now. Let me knock on wood, because I don't want any mistakes.
Knock on wood, Nada. Knock on wood.
So, but that's pretty much it. Just pay attention. That's my biggest advice, to pay attention.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. But I'm sure with all these mistakes or challenges, it's still been very rewarding to you, right? It's definitely been a rewarding industry.
It is. It's definitely rewarding. When you put all your focus into something, I feel like there's some type of result will come out. And that's the thing. That's another thing. When people start seeing results, they'll start feeling more comfortable with working with you. Exactly. So in the beginning, I didn't want to do that. I didn't feel comfortable with letting people know how many closings I've had, or how many houses I've sold, or I'm selling this. I believe there's witches, and people don't mean the best for you. So I don't want to put everything out, that I'm doing, but it's a bittersweet thing, because people only believe in you when they see results. And that's such as life,
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to go work with a personal trainer if I don't see that he's working out other people, making them look good. You have to show results. So
yeah.
For the people to believe in you, start showing your results. And then once, you feel like you put enough out there, you don't have to, now I'm at the point where I don't tell everybody how many houses I've sold or what I'm doing. It's been so long. So it's okay, you guys know what I do. You're used to it at this point.
Exactly. Yeah. I know, but what you said is so true. Even if somebody approaches me, because, I do florals on the side or whatnot. And even for someone to approach me and ask me to, give them floral for their event, they'd be like, oh, I want to see what you've done. Do this for me so I can see. No, but that's very true. Everyone just definitely wants to see what you've done before they make any step. Yeah, exactly. Any type of investment in you. Yeah. But I feel like we're all like that though, right? Are we not?
Some people I don't know. People that are genuinely care and they're interested, and then there's people that are looking into what you're doing for
just being nosy. Yeah.
nosy,
They're not interested in your services. They just want to know. Yeah.
Right.
I see
Right.
what
And
you're
there's
saying.
people that are actually curious that are just, very inquisitive. But I read people and I know who's interested in what, or who wants to try to get in my business, who wants to, do something behind my back. I mean, as for real estate, it's obviously a business that anybody can get into. I can't be mad that the next person is a realtor, that's petty. But
too many realtors out there. I'm mad.
Exactly. So I'm like, I would love to help people with it because I know what I've done and how long it's taken me to get to where I am. And there's so much more. I'm not perfect at all in my business, and I would be happy to help other people to get, to avoid the mistakes or the things that it took me so long to learn to get there. I mean, I don't want to be selfish with that information. I hate when people try to hold off on things.
Oh my goodness, say that again. It's so annoying.
Right. I have to learn by myself.
It's so sad. Like, it's like, and it's the worst thing, but I even feel bad for saying it, but they say whenever Nigerians come into this country, like they help each other out. Like they'll say, hey, go to school, do this, be a nurse, blah, blah, blah. But Ghanaians, I started in the warehouse. You need to go to the warehouse and start there. Like, it's so sad. We need to get out of that mindset. Like, show people the mistakes that you've made because there's the reason why you made it. So that whenever they start, they don't have to make those mistakes and just be outright successful. What's wrong with that? What's so wrong with seeing someone else? Yeah.
Exactly. I'm just like, I don't know if because they struggle, they want to see somebody else struggle like them or what. But I mean, if I can save somebody else a mistake, like I don't want to, like how it would be messed up if I've known, you're doing something wrong and I just stay quiet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would rather help somebody because I want that for myself, in the future of my good karma.
Right, exactly. Good. I like that. Good karma.
So I'm just like, if I scratch your back, I hope in the future God will scratch mine too.
Listen, that's it. That's a good point. But so within real estate, what would you say was your best month? Like if you want to share numbers, you can, but what would you say was like your best month ever since you started within the 4 years?
It was a couple deals. I had, God, was it last year? So I think I had a good couple months. Last year was, I think September and October. Ironically, that was a year that I went to Ghana too. And I was working. So I was in Ghana. I'm trying to live my life and
money's just coming at you, throwing itself at you.
I wasn't mad, but I'm trying to enjoy.
That's funny.
It was good because I did a new construction deal. I think I did 2 new construction deals. One of them was an extra incentive, like I was speaking of earlier. They said, if you bring a buyer by this time, luckily my buyer wanted that house. I didn't even know that they were doing an incentive. And I was looking at the closing disclosure and it had an extra 1%. Usually it's supposed to be 3 and it said 4. So I got okay. So that was good. It was like a little bonus. And then did another new construction after that. And that one didn't have an incentive. It was just a regular 3%, but it was a sweet deal because I would say it was my best one. This one and the one I did 2 years ago. These 2 clients went in, they knew what they wanted. And it was high price points too. They were just like, hey, Nada, can you help write this contract up? Oh, I'm like, okay, how much is it? $760,000. Bets. Like, let's write it up. Let's do it right now. I didn't have to go and take them to see the house. They already knew what they wanted. So when I say in terms of, not even in terms of money, but just more in terms of like, I don't have to drive you around. This is sweet. I don't have to, do the most, what you want. It's very easy. It was very easy. And then new construction too, just, for anybody watching this, if you want to get into it, it's a cakewalk. It's so easy dealing with new construction. The agent that works for the new construction, the development team, they handle all the paperwork. Typically, most of the time, 99.999%, they handle all paperwork. Just wait, and then you just get paid at the end. So I would say my best was last September, October, and then 2 years ago in January. I had the highest sales at my brokerage. So
wow. So what broker? Oh, speaking of that, yeah, let's delve into that brokerage. How did you choose is it brokerage or firm? What's the correct word?
I think
Okay.
brokerage, your broker. For anybody watching this, if you want to get into real estate, I highly suggest you to start. I don't want to bash anybody on this, but or any of the companies, but do your research. Like seriously do your research. And because this is another mistake that I made. I'd stayed way too long at the company that I was with, and they were just taking way too much money from my checks. I started to realize it's typically, wherever you go, typically it's a 70-30 split. And I was realizing that it was a 60-40.
70 on your part?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would make 70% and they would take a 30%. So I was getting a little comfortable and familiar. Right. And then after that, there's, not to mention, they don't take taxes out. So you have to save for taxes on your end. So if you get paid, all that money is not for you, sweetheart. You still have to put 30% to the side. So all splits, like in the end of it, we're not, I say we're not making that much, because a lot of agents do and make a lot, but you still want to make sure you're financially good. You don't want to be owing the IRS. You didn't save any money.
Definitely don't want that.
$20,000 in taxes and stuff, and you don't know where to get it. So every time I get paid, I always put 30% to the side. But yeah, choosing a brokerage, do your research, and don't be afraid to ask any questions, because essentially, they're not interviewing you all the time. You're interviewing them. They are taking your money. So you are the one that's they want you. And, it's a give and take situation. They want you because they're taking your money. They're taking either 30%, 20%, but they have to have many, X, Y, and Z reasons as to why you, and why do I want to give you 30% of my money, 20%, whatever it needs to be. And if whatever they're offering, sounds good to you, so be it. You would like them. But for me personally, it came to a point where I was comfortable in what I was doing and I didn't think I needed their assistance anymore. So I was like, let me move on to the next company. My next company offered me 80-20. And I was like, okay, this is not bad. I came from 60-40, 80-20. This is cool. I did that and I really liked them, but I ended up finding another company. And by the way, this sounds like, I've been switching jobs. It's not. Brokerages are not like that. Like you can go through brokerages. I can be with a brokerage today and tomorrow I'll switch with another one. It's not like it sounds bad. Like, oh, Nada's been with too many jobs. It
doesn't matter. Yeah.
It's not like my turnover rate is bad. But I ended up finding another brokerage a year and a half later that I've always known about, that I wanted to be with, but I stayed with my previous brokerage way too long. And I wanted to leave them, but it was such a family-oriented company. And that's why I ended up staying, because I was emotionally vested with them.
Oh, no.
That was my mistake.
Yeah.
And, I talked to my broker and I was like, hey, listen, do you mind? Let's talk about doing a 90-10. I'll say if we do 90-10. He wasn't trying to hear it. I tried talking to him again. Hey, listen, 90-10. Still wasn't trying to hear it. So it came to a point, I found out the brokerage that I wanted to go to, that I've been knowing forever, they do 100%. Like you get 100% of your commission.
I've never heard that. What? 100%?
Mm-hmm. So
100%. Wow. Interesting.
There's a few companies like that. But the thing is, they're one of the companies that in order to really be with them, you have to prove that you've made, you're always producing.
Sales, yeah.
So that's kind of that's why it's like that. And because they'll ask you how much did you sell? Like there's some companies, I know most of the time you're interviewing companies, but in some cases, some companies are interviewing you. There's teams. So it just depends. Real estate is a very weird world, to get in. You just have to get acquainted to it. But yeah, that one, I found that one and I was like, this is fine. I'm cool with doing this. All they do is charge a transaction fee of, I think the most they'll take from you is $500. That's it.
That's
you can
great.
You can be making $20,000 off of one house. The most they'll take from you is $500. At my last place, if I make $20,000 off of one house, they'll be taking I can't do my math right now, but they'll be taking 2,000. Let's say let's say between $2,000 to $4,000
That is amazing.
versus $500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a
Don't
huge jump.
Yeah, don't forget to put your 30% to the side for taxes, though.
Yeah. You
Like
just have to bring that part, ruin the moment, huh? Like I know you're happy, but don't forget, IRS does not play. Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
You're funny. Yeah. So just do your research on your brokerages. It's okay to make mistakes. Change if you need to, and
You
then
need not, even if they'll by law, and this they will teach you this in school. If you want to leave your brokerage, they cannot force you to stay. It's a law thing. They cannot force you. They cannot, of course they'll ask you, what can we do to make things better? What do you need? What do you want? To try to talk you, but by law you're not. They can't keep your license. They can't say,
Okay.
you can't go. If I want to leave, I can leave today. And you have to be aggressive. Real estate is a very aggressive industry, so.
Yeah.
Have to learn how to be aggressive.
Yeah, interesting. But so
Yeah.
let's delve more into okay, buying a home, right? The
Mhm.
last segment of this, I just want to talk about buying a home. If someone is interested in buying a home, what are the steps that they need to take before they even contact a real estate agent, and then afterwards also?
So they can always contact a real estate agent first,
Okay.
or it's either between contacting a real estate agent first or contacting a lender first. So between those two, you either need a lender or a real estate agent to contact first. Either way, if you contact the lender first, they can refer you to an agent, or you can do a lender and then you can find your own agent. But if you go to a real estate agent first, they can put you in the right direction to get approved by a lender. So they can refer you to lenders, or you can still find your own. Either way it goes, but you definitely need the two to work with to get to the closing table. Right. So either one. Realtor, I would say realtor or lender first, but let's just say like this: realtor, lender, get approved. Once you get approved, you know how much you're buying. I mean, how much your buying power is. Then you can move on to shopping, because people they get confused and they think that they can just go out and shop for whatever. No, you need to know how much you're approved for in order for us to shop. Because if you're only approved for $250 and you're going out and you're looking at $400,000 homes, you're going to be very disappointed when you're approved.
That's hilarious.
It happens all the time.
Oh my goodness. So people don't get approved before they go out looking for homes?
They're supposed to, but they think they're so entitled. Like, why do I have to get approved? Do you not think I have money? I'm like, girl, it's not about that. I need to know. I'm not wasting my time, and I'm not wasting your time and emotions, because I know it sounds crazy, but you get attached. You get emotionally attached to a house and things like,
oh my goodness, girl, don't remind me. Yeah.
It sucks so bad. I'm like, I hate to break the news and be like, you can't get it because they're not approved. The biggest thing you need to do is know what price range you're sticking in. Have people have this where they're like, oh, I think I can get approved for this. You don't know that, because you can make so much money. You can make $100,000 a year, 150, 70, 50, whatever the case is. But if that credit is not good and that debt ratio is not good.
Yeah, that's an income ratio. Yeah. Wow. So speaking of credit, so right now in the market, I guess you're going to talk in respect to Georgia, but what is the lowest credit score that will get an approval? Is there a cap on the credit score?
Yes. Yeah. So when it comes to FHA, I believe the lowest that you can go, I could be wrong, but it's happened before to some of my past client at least. But with my past client, he had an FHA loan, and the lowest, and his score was a 540, or it could have been 530. Yeah, it was low. It was really low.
You can get approved for a house if you have a 540 credit score.
Yeah, I mean, but your ratios are going to be high. Like your interest rate is going to be.
Yeah.
He closed on his interest rate. It was a 5.7. People are getting interest rates right now for 2.5.
Wow.
So you do the math. I mean, and that makes a big difference in your mortgage.
That is huge.
Yeah, huge. It makes a big difference. So I would say, great. I don't encourage anybody to be, unless you're in, desperate times, but just don't be desperate. If you're in real desperate times, you have to, you figure out a way and you have to buy out whatever the case is. And yeah, but don't be desperate to buy a house and get into that. I mean, the interest rates would be so high. Your ratios, everything just would be high because they're looking at you as a risk. But
would you recommend like getting the house and then like just refinancing later, or you're more of like fix your credit before you get the house? Or
yeah, you can definitely do that, but you still have to wait until you can refinance. And I'm not a lender, so I can't. I could be giving out wrong information, but don't quote me on this, everybody. But when you refinance, I think that's when you have to build like a certain number of equity in the house before you refinance. And I think it will do with your credit and all that stuff. But like I said, do not quote me because I'm not 100% on that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's still an option. You still can do that. But if you're willing to pay whatever those upfront costs are and your mortgage a month with that high interest, then that's your prerogative. When it comes to conventional loans, it's the lowest that you can go for credit is, I believe, a 620 or 640. I think it's a 640.
Oh,
it's the lowest.
So the different types of loans as well. Okay, gotcha.
There are different types of loans, just to throw that out there. And then you also have a veterans loan. So the veterans loan is if you're a vet and you don't have any down payment. So you don't have to, you put 0% down, which is beautiful. So yeah.
Is that only for vets, or is it? I know there are a lot of programs that allows that, right? Or that's only for vets.
There's still programs that allow it with that, because people get misconstrued with it. Yes, it's nice that you don't have to put 0% down payment down. However, there are more costs that you will, and it's still built into your loan. So they get you with that,
Yeah.
In the run, it will cost you way more if you're not putting anything down. Your mortgage will be higher, your interest rate because you're still considered a risk. You can't pay, the lowest you can put down, by the way, for FHA is 3.5%. For a conventional loan is 3%. So that's the lowest that you can put down, which is not that bad if you think
down
about it.
Payment is lower for a conventional loan than the FHA?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So they ask you to put 0.5 more down than conventional, just like a traditional loan. It's a pretty standard loan. If you're approved for it, then you're good to go. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's not that bad. With FHA, however, you can, there's more, it's not as lenient as conventional, but you can get probably approved for more with FHA than conventional, because conventional is lenient, but there's still restrictions too. There's still things that still qualifications you have to meet. With FHA, if you don't meet certain qualifications, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, we can settle for an FHA. So it's still a pretty good loan though. But if you can get a conventional, I would say get a conventional, because you don't have to worry about having a PMI inside your mortgage for the life of the loan, which is private mortgage insurance. Whereas with FHA, you have to have it for the life of the loan. With conventional, you have it for a certain time unless you put down a certain amount. I think it's like if you put down 20%, then you don't have to have it. Again, check with your lender. But yeah, and then when you reach a certain amount of equity, then you can drop it from your loan.
Wow. Very nice. Wow. Interesting. This is interesting. I hope he's taking notes and has learned a lot. Make sure you contact Nada if you need more information. Definitely. Yeah. But so now I just wanted to ask, so with, all your success now with real estate and everything, what would you say like is your, let's say 5-year plan, or within 5 years, what's your goal? And I know you have like other businesses also, if you want to talk about that as well.
Yeah. So as far as real estate goes, I've always wanted to do interior design. So it's still a goal of mine that I want to do. I don't know if I want to do like physical home staging or if I want to do virtual staging. Some type of interior design though. I don't know my approach to it yet, but I do want that. Also, being that this is my 4th year in real estate, you need to be an active realtor in order for you to get your brokerage license. So I can technically be a associate broker or a broker if I wanted to be. I can open my own brokerage now if I wanted to be. I just have to take a course and a test for it. And if I pass it, I can be considered a broker and I can open my own brokerage. So essentially, I want, a couple agents working for me, maybe have it as like a boutique brokerage and have a couple agents, and then it'll be like a la carte, a la carte services.
Hey, girl. Yeah.
I can have virtual staging. I can have photographers and just people working under me. So I'm not doing all the legwork. I can be taking, a percentage from them. Nothing as crazy as what they were taking from me in the struggle. So, but something where
the brokerage has to run somehow, right? So
I can still eat, but
exactly.
nothing significant. So yeah.
Wow, a brokerage. That's big, Nada. That's
it's
not
a responsibility though. So I mean, it's either opening your own brokerage or being an associate broker for a brokerage.
A brokerage. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure how that really works yet, or how that broker will get paid being that they're an associate broker. But either way,
it goes. Researching.
Yeah. I'm gonna continue researching, and we gotta level up.
Yeah, definitely. No one wants to be stagnant, definitely. Yeah.
But I mean, otherwise, that's that. And then, and it has nothing to do with real estate, but I also have waist beads, and I sell waist beads. But I just did it for fun. But who knows where it will go or how big it'll get? I don't know. Yeah. But I just do it on the side for now. So as long as you have something on the side, when you're in real estate, you just always have to have. Unless you're 100% successful at it and you're making bank, good for you. But, one hobby, two hobbies, a couple streams of income do not hurt.
It does not. I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Have different investments. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Make sure you split them up.
And I don't want to get into that where all my eggs are in one basket and I'm only focusing on real estate. But I do want to essentially look into other things, getting my feet wet into other things. I haven't figured out yet because I'm so attached to homes and doing this, and I'm comfortable with this.
Well, you can find something around homes.
Oh yeah, that's what. So I wanted to do that. I don't know exactly. I don't know what. I want to get into like the market and get places, or
you said money market.
The Airbnb market.
Oh, okay. So, yeah,
either get apartments or places, like if God permits, it'll be beautiful if I can own a couple properties and I can Airbnb them out because it makes money. They make money. So essentially that.
Don't let me get started on Airbnb. Oh my goodness. That's our daily conversation in this house.
Yes. Yeah. I'm really want to get into it. So we'll see where it takes us. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. Definitely. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Nada. This has been very insightful. I learned a whole lot that I definitely didn't know before, especially those brokerages. I'm still stuck on that, like how much money they make. Girl, you better open one and make this money. Let's take it to Ghana, okay?
Exactly. And that's another thing. I eventually it's like, expand and do something over there. I don't know what yet, but that's when your girl gets money. So right now we're over here.
Nada, you got money, okay? You're rich. You just trying to be humble, okay?
Rich mentally, but we are still working on the pockets. In my head, I'm manifesting.
That's it. That's all we can do, right? Hey, right. Prayer move. That's it. Speak it into existence. Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely a pleasure talking to you. So tell everybody where they can find you, how they can connect with you.
So if you guys want to stay in contact with me or watch my journey, follow me on Instagram, Nested by Nada, NESTEDBYNADA. And I'm sure that Laurentia will post and tag me in it, so you'll be able to find me that way. And if you need my contact, everything is in my bio, my email, my contact, all of that. So just stay in contact with me and follow me.
Right. Definitely, definitely. And just last thing, if you have any words that you want to say to somebody who is either wanting to buy a house or wanting to get into becoming an agent, what do you have to say to them or advice?
Definitely good luck, but just contact me. Like I will walk the process and
like just contact me.
Right. The process and help you as much as I can. But just stay focused, seriously, and do not jump into real estate thinking that you're just gonna. This is something I really should say. Do not jump into real estate thinking you're gonna make $1 million off of one deal and quit all your jobs and just focus and just get into real estate.
That one
is gonna start like this because it does not work like that overnight. Some people, yes, but generally speaking, do not quit all your jobs at one sitting and just make everything. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all I got. Everybody.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Nada. You're the bomb. Gave us all this, great information. Just helping the community. That's all we're trying to do. Help the community, impact the community, because there's money to be made. There's money out there, and we're kind of sitting still. Yeah. So definitely, if anyone's interested in, of course. Anyone's interested in real estate, make sure you contact Nada and talk to her, communicate with her. She's the girl. She can advise you in the right route. So definitely, thank you, Nada.
Thank you, girl.